welcome to today's video. Today I decided to start a new series. I decided to start top 10, and today's top 10 is about the dangerous places in Earth. Hope you enjoy watching, and peace.
Despite more than 50 eruptions having occurred since Mount Vesuvius' most notable eruption, the one that buried the ancient cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, people still insist on building lives in the shadow of this massive volcano on Italy's west coast. The modern city of Naples, Napoli in Italian, lies at the foot of the mountain, and while around 1 million people live there, an eruption which is now overdue could necessitate the evacuation of many more from the city and surrounding areas. 3,000 miles east of Moscow lies this, the oldest city inside the Arctic Circle. Despite the endless winters, 1,500 people live in the city and lays claim, unsurprisingly enough, to being the coldest city in the world. The lowest temperature ever recorded in Volkoyansk was minus 90 Fahrenheit in the late 19th century, but the average temperature in winter isn't much better, with temperatures regularly dropping to minus 60 degrees. Once a bountiful and fertile area, Minqin County in the northeast of the Gansu province in China is now one of the most bleak areas in Asia. A 10-year-old drought and a diversion of the Xiyang River has seen the two deserts which border the county swallow up more than 100 square miles of land. The region is rapidly being given back to the desert despite an influx of people moving to the region, and as a result the government have begun resettling farmers who have seen their land disappear from 360 square miles to around 50. Underneath Lake Nyos in Cameroon lies an incredibly dangerous secret. A pocket of magma lying deep below the bed of the lake is constantly leaking carbon dioxide into the water. Under the pressure of the water, the CO2 remains in a dissolved state. But in 1986, the water was suddenly turned over and the gas was depressurized, exploding upward like a shaken bottle of soda. The cloud of CO2 rushed downhill and choked almost 1,700 people and thousands of livestock. Today, the authorities use pipes to siphon off the CO2-enriched water from the bottom of the lake with the intention of stopping the same thing happening again. But that doesn't make Lake Nyos safe. Still, it's far from it. One of the United States' most recognized tourist attractions, the Grand Canyon may not seem like a particularly dangerous formation, but due in no small part to the impossibility of making the location safe, all it takes is one wrong step. Spring is a rejuvenating time for most people as the chill of winter moves on and brings with it new life and, most importantly, the sun. However, for the people of the Interstate 44 corridor between Oklahoma City and Tulsa, commonly known as Tornado Alley, it's now twister season. Every year, cold air from the Rocky Mountains meets warm air from the Gulf Coast and forms these kind of terrifying twisters. Between 1950 and 2006, 69 tornadoes spun their way across Tulsa County, which proved fatal for many caught in their paths and caused millions of dollars worth of damage. With hurricanes, earthquakes and mudslides an all too common occurrence in Central America, you could be forgiven for thinking that the people of Guatemala might not be too keen on their country. Guatemala has suffered from all of these disasters in the last 40 years alone. In 1976, a 7.5 magnitude quake killed 23,000 Guatemalans, and as a result of Hurricane Stan, there were more than 900 massive mudslides in 2005, which caused one village to be declared a cemetery after authorities were unable to rescue the 300 villagers who were buried. In terms of natural disasters, you hear much less of the scourge of drought than other disasters which sound better, on the news. It's the sad reality of media. In spite of that, more than 100,000 people died over a 12-year period in the Sahel Belt, which stretches across northern Africa through Mauritania, Senegal, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan, Algeria, Ethiopia, and Eritrea. In addition to those who died, the famine left almost 1 million farmers unable to develop their own crops and were left dependent on UN food aid. As a nation, Haiti has suffered more from the effects of natural disasters than most. September 2008 killed nearly 500 people in the city of Gonaives, which was almost washed out to sea by the storms. However, in 2004, Hurricane Gian blew through the city and the country, killing thousands of Haitians and largely destroying the city. With Haiti lying in the cyclone-prone Caribbean and Gonaives sitting in the floodplain, prone to washing out when there is a swell in the local rivers, it makes the city one of the most dangerous places to live in the world. When Mohamed Nasheed took office in 2008, the country's first democratically elected president made it his business to fund the relocation of the entire population of the islands. Although this might sound like a ridiculous idea, it actually has much more to it than you might think. At its highest point, the elevation of the Confederation of 1,190 islands is just over 6 feet, meaning that at some point in the very near future, the entire country is going to be swallowed by the sea. Both India and Sri Lanka have been suggested as possible locations for the 360,000 residents of the islands.